Hey guys, and very good day from Dallas Fort Worth International Airport. Today I'll be flying all the way to Helsinki on board Finnair's Airbus A350-900 aircraft. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm already at the gate area, this is due to the fact that I just arrived here on board an American Airlines flight from San Francisco. However, thank you guys for coming along to today's trip report, and let's head right inside the aircraft as the gate is already about to close. To be a bit more precisely, I'll be on board Finnair flight 6054, which is leaving at 4:55 p.m. from gate D8. As far as I know, all international flights are leaving from Terminal D here in Dallas. And as you can already see on the right hand side, this terminal offers a lot of eating possibilities, consisting of both fast food chains and normal restaurants. Since this airport is also a hub for American Airlines, there are many connecting passengers. However, I can definitely reassure those of you with short transfer times, as there is a so-called Skyline train which connects the terminals within minutes. Well, I finally made it to today's gate D8, and I do have an impressive view on today's Airbus A350 from here. It has the registration Oscar Hotel-Lima Whiskey Alpha, and it was the very first A350 delivered to Finnair already 6 years ago, as far as I know. And as you guys can probably already guess, I'm really looking forward to finally board this beauty in order to be able to show you guys the cabin interior and the in-flight service. All gates feature these seating areas, which are also equipped with power outlets. But as I arrived here really late, I unfortunately don't have any time to take a seat. By the way, today's video is sponsored by me. Therefore, I would of course highly appreciate if you guys would leave a like and also a comment in the comment section down below. Thank you. Soon the boarding status was set to final call, so it was my time to board the aircraft. Alright, I'm finally on my way to today's Airbus A350. Just can't wait to get inside. Alright, I finally settled in at my seat 64 Alpha, and the first impression of the seat and the cabin overall is more than decent. Finnair equipped the cabin of today's A350 with 46 business, 43 premium economy and 208 normal economy seats, which are coming in a 3-3-3 configuration. To my surprise, a small bottle of water as well as headphones have already been placed in the seat pocket in front of me. This is kind of rare in economy class these days, isn't it? And the legroom of my seat is simply fantastic, having in mind that I am 1.85 meters tall and this is not even an extra legroom seat or anything. So big thumbs up to Finnair. Furthermore, the seat comes with a foldable but also extendable table. And the safety card of today's A350, on which we will be taking a closer look later on, is stowed in the magazine compartment between the table and the IFE monitor. Talking about the IFE monitor, this seems to be one of the latest generation, and it's also pretty generous in size for economy class. And as you can perfectly see here, the view outside is as good as it can somehow get on an A350. At least if you can't afford a business class ticket, so you have to take a seat behind the wing like me. The passenger service unit above me features reading lights but no fresh air nozzles. But honestly, that doesn't really turn me mad, as I don't use them anyways.
So very good Saturday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Children will aboard the Captain Airline here with me at the cockpit and box at Jukka Jääskeläinen. I'm back there, Captain Head of Juha Haltu will take care of your service security during our flight. So to be ready, closing up the doors, hatches, start the engines, head towards Helsinki. Flight time this night around 9 hours and 5 minutes means we should be landing around half an hour early. So far scheduled Helsinki 10:30 Finnish time.
Before departure, we would like to focus on safety. Please follow this video closely, as we will be demonstrating the safety features of our aircraft. Smartphones and other handheld electronic devices may be used from gate to landing in flight mode and in normal mode after landing. All other electronic devices, including laptops, must be switched off and stowed for takeoff and landing. Make sure that your armrest is in the down position and your seat back is upright. Please open your window shade and stow your table.
Finally, the fastened seatbelt signs were switched on and the cabin crew secured the cabin for takeoff. My seatbelt is, as always, more than securely fastened. And we are about to line up the runway, so let's fly to Helsinki.
flying with American Airlines, British Airways and Iberia. I hope you will enjoy the flight with us, and please let us know if there is anything we can do to make your stay on board even more comfortable.
Once we were airborne, I wanted to use the spare time until the first meal service to be a bit productive. So I took out my dirty MacBook and started to edit a Spirit Airlines trip report, where I was flying from Los Angeles to Oakland. The trip report is actually not published yet, so please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can be sure to not miss it. Alright, today's meal finally found its way to me, and I don't want to spoil you too much, but it looks pretty good for a economy class menu. Finnair only offers one main course for dinner, allegedly for environmental reasons. However, if you have special requirements for your food, you can order special menus, for example such as vegetarian or kosher meals, in advance. Today it was some kind of a casserole with pasta, chicken, spinach, tomatoes and lots of cheese. It was accompanied by a chocolate brownie with some sugar sprinkles for dessert, a bread roll which unfortunately had not been warmed up beforehand and was accordingly ice cold, and last but not least, a coleslaw salad as a starter. For drinks, I decided on a Finnish lager beer, of which unfortunately you can only order one for dinner, and a blueberry juice. I have to admit that I haven't been served such a nice main course in economy class for a pretty long time. Last time was on Iberia, I believe. One thing I don't understand, however, is why they serve their dinner with plastic cutlery instead of wooden or metal cutlery when they care so much about environmental protection. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? So let's try out the main first. Simply delicious and really good for an economy class meal, as I would say. Next comes the coleslaw salad. pretty good as well. And finally, let's give the brownie a try. Cheers on today's fantastic Finnair crew. The beer is actually good as well, and I'm actually a German, so I can definitely tell you if a beer is good or not. Even though I had some negative points, I have to say that this was a fantastic meal, and I have to give Finnair a big thumbs up for the second time on this flight already. About half an hour after the first meal service, the cabin crew came around and offered tea or coffee to the passengers, which is pretty cool in my eyes. Unfortunately, however, there are no wooden sticks available on today's flight, so I have to use my plastic spoon in order to mix the milk with the coffee. Cheers! That's hot, but also pretty good. As my stomach is now completely full, I would like to show you guys around my seat real quick. Firstly, as already shown before, there is a race bag with a nice Finnair branding in the magazine compartment in front. As well as the safety card of today's Airbus A350 aircraft. Even though Finnair's economy cabin is modern and in a pretty good condition, there is one big negative thing. There are simply no power outlets, neither under the seat in front nor under your own seat, which is a big minus point in my eyes. The only power outlet I was able to find was the USB slot, which was built in the IFE monitor, but it was unfortunately not working on my flight. But let's continue with some good stuff. Finnair provides free blankets on their long-haul flights, and this one is actually pretty soft and comfy and kept me warm through the night. Furthermore, Finnair has branded their seatbelt buckles with their own logo. And most of you should probably know by how much I love this. The headrest of my seat is also very comfortable and can be adjusted vertically and on the sides. Finnair offers a web-based in-flight portal which can be accessed through their Wi-Fi network. It offers some information about Helsinki and Finland in general, but also games, newspapers and audiobooks free of charge, which is pretty cool in my eyes. Furthermore, you can buy yourself internet access for a fairly cheap price compared to other airlines. €19.95 is a decent price for a flight pass in my eyes. And finally, you can also scroll through Finnair's onboard shopping magazine. However, the products are pretty pricey in my eyes, aren't they? Well, hello from the rear lavatory of today's Airbus A350 aircraft. How is this flight so far? Honestly, it's a really pleasant one. The crew is doing a fantastic job, and I'm simply blown away by Finnair's cabin interior. Even though this plane is already more than 6 years in service, the cabin looks really, really new, as if it would be only like half a year old. Furthermore, as you have already seen, today's in-flight service was more than decent, so I'm really happy so far. Let's take a quick look through the lavatory. And here things stop being very nice, because as you can see, it's pretty messy in here. However, the water is flowing normal. You can even choose between hot and cold water. You got some soap over here and a dispenser. And yeah, so far so good. Well, come on, let's head back to my seat. As it's already getting dark outside and we are already overhead the Atlantic Ocean, it's time to lower the window shade and try to get at least some sleep while watching a movie. Unfortunately, however, the cabin light was never completely switched off during the entire flight. I'm not quite sure if this is a procedure in Finnair or if the flight attendants simply forgot about it. Very good morning from approximately 41,000 feet. I honestly slept about 1 or 2 hours in the last night, to say so. Having in mind that I'm coming right from San Francisco, where it's currently midnight at this moment. Well, kind of looking forward to the jet lag experience already. However, the breakfast service started about 2 hours before landing, as we were crossing the Norwegian Ocean already. And yeah, let's see what we will get for breakfast. For breakfast, I was served this really good looking and warmed up cheese omelette, coming along with some potatoes and grilled tomatoes. For drinks, I decided to go for Finnair's signature drink, the blueberry juice, as well as a black tea with a lot of milk. I was served such a milk tea in Dubai for the first time a couple of months ago, and I absolutely love it ever since. And look at that, Finnair even provides wooden cutlery with the breakfast. But why not at the dinner service beforehand? I don't really get that. Anyways, I do have to admit that I highly appreciate that Finnair offers a hot breakfast meal. Other European so-called premium carriers, Lufthansa, are actually not doing that on US flights. So let's enjoy this good-looking hot breakfast with a fantastic view outside. Let's give this a try. Apparently, this is the best airplane omelette I ever had. And I've had many before, as you probably already know. Props to Finnair. Blueberry juice for breakfast is always an option, isn't it? Cheers. Fantastic. I absolutely love it. Let's take a closer look at the IFE system, which I really like so far. The monitor responds perfectly to my inputs and the menu is clear and well structured. In addition to that, you can even see a timeline of the current flight on the homepage. I have never seen that with any other airline. The snacks and drinks menu can also be viewed. And most importantly, Finnair offers a decent variety of movies and TV series, including many blockbusters. About 10 minutes before landing, the fastened seatbelt sign was switched on again by the pilots and the flight attendants secured the cabin. And as you can perfectly see here on the IFE monitor, we are slowly getting closer to Helsinki-Vantaa airport. So let's enjoy Finland's breathtaking landscape before we are landing in Helsinki.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Helsinki. Please remain seated with your safety belt fastened until the safety belt sign has been switched off. Please be careful when opening the overhead lockers as items may fall out. It is now allowed to use mobile devices in normal mode. Our crew, Finnair and Oneworld, hope that you have enjoyed this flight. Thank you and welcome again and have a nice Sunday.
Well, time to enjoy one last view on the A350 that brought me here all the way to Helsinki safe and sound. So let's find our way to the immigration control. And yeah, let's also go for the final question. How was today's flight? Making a long story short, Finnair somehow managed it to exceed my highest expectations I had on them. They do offer a fantastic long-haul product. I had a fantastic and charming cabin crew on my past flight from Dallas to Helsinki. Furthermore, the in-flight service was pretty decent as well for a basic economy long-haul product. And having in mind that they do offer really cheap long-haul flights, this is definitely more than I expected beforehand. So finally, I can definitely recommend you guys flying Finnair on a long-haul flight. And yeah, just want to say thank you for watching today's video until the very end. Stay safe, have a good one. I will now explore Helsinki for the next couple of hours before heading back home to Germany on board another Finnair flight this evening. Stay safe, have a good one, and cheers.